up, moms out there? Welcome back to the Bomb Ass Mom podcast. Again, I'm your girl, Erica.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Tierney, and we're the Bomb Ass Mom. Welcome back, everyone. So, this week we're talking about balance between your relationship and children, how to maintain your relationship, romance with your partner, and balancing all that with spending time with your children in everyday life.
Y'all, I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm telling you this can be a good juicy topic because in reality, like we have to discuss these things with our partner, especially with being a mom of how we balance it out. I know that sounds like a lot, but we're gonna get into all the good juicy details here in a minute.
I feel like this is everyday stuff. Like, seriously, balancing all this, your children, your relationship, it's kind of hard. I've been struggling, no lie.
It is hard in this moment. I mean, I'm a single parent and just trying to balance dating, work, and a child. It's a lot. I was married for almost 7 years. At the time, Andrew was a baby. And yes, my ex-husband stayed at home with the baby. I worked Monday through Friday and he worked Saturday and Sunday. And we had to literally figure out how we gonna balance it out with a baby, work, how we gonna still keep the spark.
Wait a minute, Ashley. I'm sorry. Let's give a round of applause for the bomb ass mom going out and making that bread. Give a round of
Absolutely.
applause. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
It's
I
cool.
just think that is so wonderful. Not that the guy's staying at home. I don't really have any thoughts about it. Well, yes, I do. But for you to go out and make that bread, baby, you fucking a bomb ass mom.
So,
Okay.
Ash, I got a question because I know you said that Andrew decided to stay home.
Well, he didn't decide. This had to
Or that
happen. The
had to happen.
government owned my
Okay,
life
and that's going to be my question. Was that a decision amongst you two, or how did that come about with him being at home and you going to work?
because I'm a nurse in the army. I mean, I have a say, but I don't really have a say. At the time, we lived in Hawaii, and sometimes we noted that it was really hard for him to find a job. And I mean, this baby was coming, whether we wanted it to or not.
Mhm.
Like Andrew was coming,
Mhm.
and I have a work schedule. And I'm like, what we're gonna do? We tried to get into daycare, but it was so hard to get into daycare, so we had to make a decision. Hey, I'm not saying you can't have a job, but you might have to stay at home with the child until we can get him into daycare. And it took 13 months before we can get our son into daycare. Andrew did pick up like a part-time job on the weekends. I worked Monday through Friday, and on some weekends he worked. So trying to balance one, finding somebody that you trust to watch your child while you
Mhm.
do try to date, and then spend time with each other. We're new at this. Parenting didn't have like a book that says, hey, you're going to do X, Y, and Z, or you can expect. I mean, you have resources, but that's still not the same as, you're trying to figure it out. You're a married couple, you got a new baby. It's pretty much a conversation that we did have because I didn't have a choice of whether I was going to work or not.
Okay, so back to what you were talking about, how you made time for your relationship and to distinguish that, how you made time for your child, the things that you all did together, Ashley, while you were married.
It was constant communication because, again, like I worked 12-hour shifts. And in the beginning, to be honest, when I first became a mom, I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to figure out how to be the best mom I could be to my child. And then after a while, little things will come up around the island, and then we'll say, hey, do you want to do X, Y, and Z? And we'll just have to plan it out. But sometimes I just honestly enjoyed being in each other's presence, even being at home. Sometimes when the baby sleep, us watching TV, you have to deliberately do it because sometimes if you don't, you'll find yourself just getting into a routine of working, coming home, eat, take care of baby, and do it all over again, right? So you have to be deliberate about certain things. This new experience as being a parent, we had to be deliberate about it. Now, did it always work? No, because sometimes I was just tired and wanted to just be at home. But it's just have to have a conversation about it. And it happened sometimes, and sometimes it didn't happen for me as far as when I was married and trying to balance being a new mom, working, and on top of me having plans to go to school, which I did go to school, but we'll talk about that another time.
So, did you have to work 12 hours like Monday through Friday?
Kinda, because I was in a leadership position. So some days I will come to work every day, and some days I wouldn't, or I have to cover down on the weekend. It depended on what type of day. Like if I had the civilians to call out, guess what? I'm a soldier. I gotta go cover down. But I had an awesome boss. I ain't gonna lie. I had an awesome boss who really worked with me, but I had to work a lot once I became from being a staff nurse, the assistant of the floor. Women out there that are listening, it is hard, but you have to have the desire to keep going, and you have to say, hey, I know that I can be bummed. It does take work. I'm not going to say every day was easy. I want to know about how y'all balance. It's not easy being a single parent trying to balance it now with a 9-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into how do y'all balance. Tyranny, you staying at home, you have not a newborn. How old Tristan again? Remind me, 16 months.
Now he's 16 months, and I'll tell you this. Initially, just being a mom, I was so dedicated to my child, and I'm still 100% dedicated to my child. But I was like, forget the man. It's all about my baby. If I talk to you, I talk to you. If I see you, I see you. We live in the same household, but it's just like, baby, you gotta go to work, and I gotta stay here with my kid, and I'm devoting all my time to my kid and our relationship. It is what it is. But you also have to understand like our personalities. We are different 100%. I felt like, hey, I'm not getting the attention with my man, so I'm going to devote all the attention to my baby.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, he felt the same thing. Oh, I'm not getting attention from my woman, so I'm going to devote all my time to my job and my child. We were doing the same thing to each other.
But so I have a
And
question. So how did you know that?
mhm,
Did y'all have a conversation about it? Because you said he felt the same thing. So did y'all finally say, hey, let's talk about it. Let me see where you feel it. What's your view on it? And here's how I'm feeling. Like, how did you know that he felt the same? And how did he know you felt like that?
we did eventually talk about it. I think that we as women, we're so emotional, but I'm the type of woman, hey, if I'm feeling some, I'm going to let you know. So I let him know. Feel like we've been spending enough time with each other. I'm always with a baby. Things kind of need to change. They didn't automatically change. That's something we had to work on, and that's what you do in a relationship anyway. It's very, very important to put out time for you and your mate, because as a stay-at-home mom, your baby's going to get your time regardless. You're going to be mom 100% of the time, and that's not going to change. But you do have to remember, oh, I have my boyfriend, my husband, my partner here with me, so I need to devote some time. And even if it's just like after hours, you all spend an hour together, or if it's just like, hey, let's cook dinner today together. What would you like? Let's try a different cuisine, or just find some activity to do with
Not a
each other.
cuisine,
And I
though.
think
I'm sorry. I had to chime in. Not a cuisine, though. I'm sorry.
yes. What are the different cuisines? Italian, Chinese. Let's get into it, because we be trying everything in this household. Not everything, but we try.
Yeah, I'll be
And
over there
I
cooking.
think, let me tell you, like, it's so wonderful. And I'll say this, my boyfriend, he is Jamaican. So I have learned, some of their dishes, and just doing things together like that, it does actually bring you closer. And I've learned that. And it seems so small, and it seemed like, oh, that's common sense. But, most people don't do that. And for us, like, oh, okay, I'm learning something from you. We're actually doing this together. The baby is here. When he was younger, we just pop him on a bop, and he's chilling, doing whatever he's doing. He's taking a nap, and we're doing something together to bond. And that brought us closer together.
Mm-hmm.
It took some time. And I'm going to tell you, after a baby, you have to put in work.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes,
don't think
that's
people
true.
know how hard it
Yep.
is. This was like a wake up call for me.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, this is opened my eyes to see, like, damn, why people break up after they have a baby. They've been together 15, 20 years, and then they had a baby and they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's hard to manage your relationship, because 9 times out of 10, your baby is going to come first.
Right.
If you a bomb ass mom, your baby is going to come first, and that's what it's going to be. And then you figure out everything else on the way.
Well, I
Okay,
do
hold up.
agree. I would just say it's always important to never stop dating your mate. I do know that life changes happen, with my situation, me and Marcus, we've been together 12 plus years and we've always dated. Like that's something that we've never stopped. Balancing our children and the relationship, to be honest, you guys, it's more on the easier side for me. I guess because we have been through so much before we had our little baby. So now we make time. We make sure that making time for each other is very important. Again, your kids are first priority, but if you're in a relationship, your relationship has to be a priority as well. You never want to lose that spark because, again, once it's gone, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like,
Well, you can bring it
you
back
can.
now. You can bring it
I'm
back.
not saying that you can't.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
you can't. I'm not gonna
dating,
say you
and
can't.
I messed that up.
What I am gonna say is that it is gonna be a task getting it back to where you guys were.
I definitely envy y'all because I want to go out. I want to do this. I want to go on a date. But guess
Don't
what? I
envy
don't
us.
have a
But the thing is,
babysitter.
well, to me, and you can agree or disagree. To find somebody that you truly trust with your pride and joy does take time. But eventually, Tyranny, in order for you to, like Erica said, never stop dating your mate, your mom, you're gonna have to figure it out. Who do you trust with your kid? Now, it took time, but you're gonna have to work that in somehow, some way, if you want to continue to date your mate, right?
Right.
Because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be times where you want to go out, but you're like, man, I got these two kids. When I got divorced, I had a whole breakdown, like how I'm gonna do this, how I'm still gonna live and not just exist. But then I found out resources and I went on care.com or asked family friends in order to have that balance eventually, especially if you're with your partner or with your husband, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, and being bomb, I know that we can do
Yeah.
it, but it does take time. Like, Tierney, you're a stay at home mom, but you're not going to be in a home forever. Come on now. You're going to get out. You're going to get out, but you have to find out who you're going to trust with your
With your
child.
baby.
You ain't going to just say it's
Yeah,
anybody.
with your baby. See, and the flip side, I mean, for me, of course, I support like my mom, Marcus's mom. They help out, as far as, and then my mama. Kudos to my mama because my mom. Now, if a definition, if I had to know for seriously, a definition of a bomb ass mom, my mama's gonna be the top of the list. My mom always worked 2, 3 jobs, took care of her kids. I don't know how she did it, but she still does it now. My mama is 50 plus and still works 2 jobs. Like my mom literally works 6 days a week, has one off day, like which is Sunday. Like she's worked off from both jobs all day long. And she still managed to find time when I do ask her, Mom, can you come over here? Can you spend the night to watch the baby? She makes time. You know what I'm saying? So again, if I had to,
I think that's awesome.
yeah, girl, talking about awesome. I thank God for my mom each and every day because my support with her is definitely 1,000%.
And we're
And
going to
not
get into support systems on
I was
another
just about to say
episode.
that. But before we even go into detail about anything else on this episode, we've been chatting, having a good conversation. Ladies, let's just go ahead and take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
All right. Welcome back. We had a little breaky break. Now we're back. We're going to continue to have this good old discussion because some of you all can relate. So we're going to go back to my girl, Era.
So I was just saying, you definitely have to make sure that you guys don't stop dating. Always find time for each other because again, if it once it goes sour, it's like it's a mountain trying to climb it, or for you guys to get back to where you are. So currently, my situation is now I work, and Marcus he drives trucks overnight. For me, it's I'm not gonna say well, I do balance 2 kids, even though my oldest he doesn't require a lot, but of course my baby requires a lot. So people might look at me and be like how y'all find the time to date? Yeah, I ask myself that every every day. But I mean, I feel like if you want to put forth the effort with your relationship, you gonna do what you got to do to find the time. So again, I work during the day. Again, Marcus drives at night. And with that being said, with our balance, I will say it's a struggle. Like on Marcus's end with his with driving overnight, he literally maybe gets, I don't know, I hate to say it, but he literally maybe gets maybe 2 hours to 3 hours of sleep and then have to drive over the road. But, having time like on the weekends, because I do feel bad, but he will come to me and be like, hey, we gonna go to dinner or we gonna go to the movies. And I kind of be looking at him like, ain't you tired? I mean, because I be tired too. Having a new baby, that's it's definitely a adjustment for me because I'm so used to coming home, taking me long baths, just not being bothered, getting in my bed. And the crazy part about it is, my friend Portia, every day she used to ask me, she's like, she'd call me about 5:30, sometimes 6 o'clock, and she'd be like, why are you in the bed? And I'm like, because I gotta get my rest. Not knowing now why I needed to get my now why I need to get my rest, because now it's like I get off of work, baby. It's straight baby. You know what I'm saying? It's work, baby. You know what I'm saying? And then still trying to.
So your routine changed a little
Yes,
bit.
it
So you
definitely
still
can.
finding balance, but your routine is changing.
Absolutely, absolute. Even during the week, when you're trying to get your little cookie in, I just I guess that's what I would say. You got to find.
Not Cuddy. Not Cuddy.
Yeah, you gotta find time, honey, when your baby's gone or when these kids gone. Hey, you got to find time to sneak it in. But again,
That's
yeah,
true.
you
That's
gotta
true.
find your balance. And Tierney, I know you was like you be want to go out, you envious, but baby, I'm like Ashley. You gotta figure it out. Get you on the cure.com, find you somebody that's trustable. Do your little trial run where you and your significant other can have y'all time, because it's very important that you guys keep that bond, because that's gonna make you guys grow stronger and as one.
Yeah, I
I
mean, it's a
agree.
lot of things that I want to
Mhm,
do, to be
mhm,
honest. I
And
mean,
you can
not
still do
just,
those things.
going out.
mhm,
Yeah.
Not just, well, what I'm saying is not just going out. Hey, I'm trying to get a little cutty too, but right now,
Girl,
this
put your son in
situation,
that crib.
no, the baby, I just feel like, well, it's actually not me, it's my partner. My partner, some men, they get a little scared when their woman is
That's
pregnant.
true.
So I do understand, but baby, my lady parts be hurting, so I'm good on that.
Well, you
We
know
good
what,
over
baby, you
here.
My lady
almost
part.
at the edge, so I can understand it. Cause I mean,
Mhm. Yeah.
I think after my 6 or 7 month, I was over it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
holler at me after my 6 months,
Yeah.
baby.
Right. But going back to like, finding time for your mate, as y'all know, I am, a single parent, single bum ass mom out here dating. And it could definitely be hard to find the balance when now you've been used to doing things like having a certain routine when it's just you and your child. And so trying to find time or make time for someone new or be inclusive to someone else can be hard too.
Mm,
So when you're used to doing things on your own, moving the way you move, and then boom, you're dating and it gets serious and they're like, "Okay, don't forget to include me." That's a whole mind shift.
mhm,
That's a whole mind
Yeah.
shift, like a mindset change because I working day to day to try to take care of me and my child and now boom, I got this partner to try to balance.
mhm,
You got to be ready for that.
yeah,
And if you're not ready for that, don't keep
yeah.
jumping. You got to figure it out. But when you're in a dating world too, again, there are still things that you have to make time for. I have a whole planner, and people could talk about me if they want, and I don't care. I mentioned my planner before, but I got a whole planner where I pencil things in, doctor's appointments, dates, meetings, everything. Because I am that busy and I don't want to miss things. So I mean, we'll get into this later too, y'all. That work life balance is rough.
Okay, walking
So
Yeah.
Blackbeard. Was them phones back in the day where you schedule everything?
A Palm Pilot. Are you talking about a Palm Pilot?
Or
I didn't have no Palm
them
Pilot.
little black phones. What they Blackberries?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Blackberries.
Blackberry. I had a
Hmm.
Blackberry
you
though.
gotta keep your schedule, because baby Erica don't. Well, you know what? I take that back. Actually, to be honest, I don't pencil everything down now, but I put it in my calendar. because
That's what I do.
I'm forgetful too.
I,
I think I still sometimes have a small case of baby brain. So I do like this
yeah,
two
postpartum brain.
thing.
My son 9. I still claim postpartum brain,
Yeah,
baby. And y'all got new babies.
girl. I'm just like, ooh, like sometimes I mean like this right here, I have to pencil in, So again, I do understand about having the skills. I just don't have a planner, but I do have to put it on my calendar.
Well, Ashley, I want to go back to you, but let's get into like how do you balance your dating relationship and your child? And I'll just tell a little short story. So, when I first got out of college, y'all, this has nothing to do with a mom, it has something to do with a dad. So, it's a little comparable, but kind of different. When I first got out of college, I was dating this guy. Now, you can tell I was young and dumb because he had a newborn and we would called ourselves in a whole relationship. So anyway, fast forward, I didn't understand when he was like, "Oh, I'm going to school and then I got to go take care, well, spend time with my babies." He had two kids, y'all. Mm-mm. And we were only like 20,
You live
21.
and learn.
So
You live
that's
and learn.
look, that's red flag, okay? But he had he had two kids, and one of those kids was a newborn. And I did not understand when he said, "Hey, I gotta go to school. After that, I gotta go spend some time with my kid, and then I'm gonna come home. We could take a nap together because we worked at night. I'm a nurse, and he worked in the hospital as well. And he was like, we could take a nap together, and then we going to work." Okay, boom, bam. All right, fast forward. We end up having this horrible ass breakup because he's like, "Hey, I want to be back with my family." And I did not understand. Our entire relationship was like, "Oh, my family, my family, my family." And I'm like, "Damn, what am I? I'm not your family?" And that is just like, okay, we don't have balance because I'm here, I'm trying to be a good girlfriend. I never said that I would not accept your children, but you're not accepting me. And I can't be a part of your family. You don't even consider me a part of your family. So, how can we have a relationship when I'm not even in the mix?
Hmm.
So Ashley, going back
Well,
to you, like, yeah, that was a damn red
red
flag,
flag
and I
number
just
one, baby.
want
You got a whole
to.
newborn.
Nah,
You
that was
just
number two. Yeah.
oh, but you was just in it, and then trying to find a whole
Yes.
girlfriend. What was that? You just hit it and quit it, and then
Hmm.
whatever. Okay, what was the question?
So Ashley, like, how difficult is it, or what challenges have you faced in your relationship? Because I think we need to like do a deeper dive and just not be so superficial about like challenges with dating, and then try to maintain your children, spending time with them, and then also incorporating someone new in your life, and even having your child meet them or having your ex mate meet them. I don't know if that ever happened to you, but it happens in some relationships.
So I will say in the past, I did. I was in a relationship with a person and I didn't initially like so again, I go back to when you say you want to do things, you have to find somebody that you trust to kind of watch your child for you to go out. I mean, it's the same thing if you're dating somebody, and especially if your child is old enough to understand too when people come around them. I don't initially introduce or allow Andrew to meet people that I date because my son is of age where he's smart and he's like, oh, is this your boyfriend? Or is this your partner? Or whatever. I just try to be careful to not introduce people to Andrew too early because my son is a very affectionate child
Hmm.
and I don't want him to become attached and then it doesn't work and then I mean my heart broke, his heart broke, and then you have to explain that to your child. And to be real honest, my last when I dated when we were in Germany and we broke up, my child didn't understand why we broke up or why we weren't working. And to explain that to a child was very difficult. That was a challenge within itself. But going back to before we broke up, even dating, once I finally said, okay, this is serious enough for me to introduce my child to this person, I kind of looked at how they bonded, how they interacted. Because to be honest, if my child didn't get along with you, or you didn't get along with my child, or if there was some kind of off vibe, then it wasn't going to work. It was not going to work. So I'm not going to force dating someone over my child. No way, no how. If the chemistry is not there, the bond is not there, then the person got to go. Because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
this gonna be my child forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's challenging. You just gotta eye it. I don't put a timestamp on to say, oh, I'm gonna date this person for 5 months before I introduce my
Mm-hmm.
child. No, I mean it's just how we moving and grooving.
Yeah.
My last relationship, to be honest, Andrew did meet the last person that I dated sooner than the person before. However, he didn't realize, or he didn't say, "Hey, are you in a relationship now?" No, we kind of started off a little slow, and it wasn't that person wasn't introduced as, "Hey, this is the person that I'm dating," right? But when you have
Mm-hmm.
children that are of age and understand, you do have to have that conversation with them too. I do say, "Hey, mommy's going on a date,"
Mm-hmm.
or "Hey, mommy met this person," and then he'll come out to say like, "Well, when I'm gonna meet him?" Not yet, Andrew. Not yet. It ain't that serious. Or when mommy's ready.
Mm-hmm.
And then going to whoever I date, if it is serious enough, me and my ex did vow this thing. If nothing else, whoever we date, if it's serious, we need to, one, communicate that to each other. Like me, I need to tell Big Andrew, hey, I am dating and it's serious. And then two, allow that person and Andrew to meet them, because why? They're going to be around our child.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you have to have that conversation. So Andrew and I have that understanding that if we're dating someone serious, that we're going to meet
Mm-hmm.
because they're around our child.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a lot, but
That's true.
and it's hard, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not growing old and lonely. I promise you that.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true.
That's very important.
Mm-hmm. Say, because it's been many, many, many years ago, but Ashley, just to piggyback up what you were saying, when you are introducing your child, because my first son, of course, is not Marcus's biological son, but you might as well say, because he's been in his life since he was 3. But again, it did take a minute for them to come around. But again, my child is 3 years old, so that's the difference between your son and the age difference. My child just kind of looking at
Mhm.
you like, oh, okay, you just you my mama's friend, not like you're nothing past it. But I guess as time went on and he grew with them, then your children meet your mate when you feel the time is right.
So, Erica, even though this is like a while
Mm-hmm.
ago, how did you balance? Because y'all were dating for a long time. How
Mm-hmm.
did you balance that time? Like, okay, baby, you're gonna stay with the babysitter and I'm gonna go on a date. How did you decide, like, okay, I'm gonna give this guy this amount of time, and then it's okay for my son to stay with his babysitter, grandma, whatever?
Well, let me say this. My baby's his dad, and shout out to my mom too. But his dad's mom and dad, they were awesome grandparents. So majority of the time, my child stayed over there like every other. He was if he I wasn't over there every week, he was over there every other week. They were one of them grandparents. They were retired. Both was retired. Um, he was their first grandchild, so that first grandchild syndrome, they had it, like they wanted him all the time. So the balance was pretty easy, because like again, on the weekends, I would have him during the week, but on the weekends, of course, me and Marcus would have our time and just kind of break away or do what we wanted to do. So that was the easy part, with
And
our dating experience. I'm gonna say that. Oh,
that's just a
Mm.
blessing
yeah.
to have a good support
Yeah.
system local. Like, that's
Mhm.
awesome. Like to have that.
Mhm. Yes, I
Yeah, because I definitely don't. And y'all, it's hard as heck. I don't have that support system. And it's just like trusting somebody. This is my first kid. And I probably it will be the same way with my second and third and fourth. It's
Yeah,
like
I
so
mean,
much stuff is happening in the world.
Mhm. Mhm.
that's true. I mean, Tierney, I can attest to you that it is not easy. Like I've been in the army, what, almost 12 years, have a 9-year-old now, and I've always lived away from my family,
Mhm. Mhm.
always. So I always am on a search to build my village, right? Because at the end of the day, you're right. I want to go out and do
Mhm.
things. I want to date. I want to do a lot of things. I want to go out there and be bum, making this good money and taking care of my child, so my child don't have to want for anything or live how I used to live or anything like that.
Mhm.
But it is very hard. But I will say, let me shout out. I need to go and give a little shout out to Alexis because she's been in Andrew's life since he was 3. And even though she's moved in different area codes, I moved in different area codes, they still have a relationship. But at the end of the day, it is hard.
Mhm.
And I sometimes want to know what it's like to have like Andrew's grandparents or my mom, or I can't say my dad. That's another subject. What it's like to have that family close. But
Mhm.
I feel like as long as I'm still in the United States Army, I'm going to continue to move, and it's going to be a distance. But like I said, I'm going to attest to say that it's hard, but it can happen. And it's going to take time for you to figure out. And people, whoever out there in the world listening, if you're, going through something similar, it's going to take time. You don't just wake up and say, yep, I trust you with my pride and joy. No, but it can happen. I mean, I've made it happen.
Yeah, that's important, Bill.
Okay, so I got a good
Mhm.
question. And I'll just say to Erica, since Ashley is single. So Erica, well, actually, you can answer this too, because you had a boyfriend or whatever. You had a partner at one time. How do you all keep up with the romance? Because I feel like, man, close to the end
Terry,
of
this is a good
pregnancy,
question.
yes, close to the end of pregnancy, and then like being a new mom. One, I wasn't very confident with my body. Two, it took me a long time to heal, y'all. I'm talking about more than 6 months. Like I was at 6 months, I was still hurt. But I think probably like 8 to 10 months, I was okay and I was good. But it took me a while to heal. And I don't know if it was because I was 31. I'm not going to put it on it. But,
Definitely don't
first
put it on
time
it.
mom, I'm not gonna.
Don't
No,
put it
but
on that.
like,
You be talking like you just so old,
I
Tierney.
know,
You
like
are
Ashley,
not.
like she 50. Like, okay, girl, yeah, 31.
well, I said I'm not gonna put it on it. So,
Mhm.
I don't know. Listen, I had a tear. My pelvis still hurt. My hips still hurt when I was walking, and this was all in 6 months. So I had some complications. I went to rehab. I had pelvic floor therapy, everything. So it took me a while, and I'll say, look, shout out to my boo. He never veered off. He was very supportive. He never, never, never pressured me sexually or anything. And that's something that you really need with a partner. That's very important. But like, how do you get back into that?
Wait, yeah.
How?
So wait,
Give me some steps or something.
hold up. Before we answer this question though, because it's good. It's a good little juicy question, Tierney. We need to take a break real quick. We need to take a break.
Okay.
All right. All right. So we gonna answer that when we come back. So we gonna take a break, guys, and we'll be right back. All right, all right, all right. We're back. All right, we're back. We're back. Tierney asked a good little juicy question before break. How we keep up the romance
And she
in
did.
our relationship, dating with our partner, with our husband.
Hmm.
Eric, I'm
Oh, I
gonna let
like
you.
that.
What you say
I'm
with
gonna let you
your
answer that.
husband? With your husband? Let me see. Well, for me, let me just say for me, I don't. I guess we just never stopped what we did before we had children. Well, before we had a child. My first baby, like Tierney, I was real, but again, I was young. But I'll get into that later about my life experience with that. But I was young when I had my first child, and I experienced some rips. So and I think I had to get maybe like 3 stitches. But again,
Not
yeah,
3.
I to get 3, girl. That I was hurting. I was hurting too, but I don't think it took me that long because I was a spring chicken back then. I'm, you know,
I was saying three, not a lot, but we'll talk about that later.
well, it was a lot to me, but not knowing, getting all this stuff, not never going through that, but yeah, but I don't know, like with me and Marcus, yeah,
Okay.
I'm just say we go for it, girl. Like for me,
First of all, no. We need
listen.
some
Let me
detail
tell you,
because you can't just be like, we just go
we
for it.
do
Hold
like
up.
Okay,
You can give us
yeah,
details without being
that's cause
too juicy.
we do because like
that's cause you got a mate that want it as bad as you do, and he know how to go for it. But what about the people that are less confident, that are a little bit more patient, that's a little bit
baby,
quieter?
let me tell you
Like,
something.
give us
Let
some.
me tell you
Wait,
something. You
somebody
can't
talking from
be
personal
you next
experience,
to me.
ain't it?
You can't be shy. You can't be shy and not have all these patience, baby. Because I don't have any patience. When I want something, I'm going afterwards. It ain't gonna be no if and buts about it or no whys. We can talk about that on the book
Okay,
end,
Cougar,
but right
okay.
then
cougar.
and there,
I'm just
when
playing.
I need what I need, I need what I need. And for me, like however I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. It's just what it is. Like if I come
Ooh,
out
girl,
for
Erica, don't tell me
one time.
you out there doing something strange for a
Baby,
little bit of change
hello. Let me
now.
tell you, when I want what I want, and if we got the time and I can fit it in, I'm gonna do it. So hey, when my romance or my sex life, baby, and Marcus already know when I kind of go look, and that might be giving too much detail, but whatever. When I go take me a shower and I come out lotioned up, it's like okay, listen, I know I gotta make my time.
She ready.
I'm ready.
And,
She
and hold up,
I'm
let
like
me
ready.
just
SpongeBob.
say
I'm
this.
ready. I'm ready.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me just say this. When she say she gotta get what she gotta get, like under any circumstance, that doesn't mean that she's gonna step out on her relationship.
Exactly.
She means that, she got a Bob that's gonna take care of the business,
Exactly.
okay?
Exactly. And he
All
know
right.
when the business needs to be handled. So,
Mm.
So
for
that
that to
that's
so
awesome, Erica, that you confident.
yeah, and for me, like, and I don't mean cut you off, Ashley, because I know you said that you like your body. Like for me, y'all, I've always dealt with like body issues. Like after I had with I wasn't big, but I wasn't small. And like with my baby now, of course, I gained a little more weight than I had before. But for me, I'm just confident for me. You know what I'm saying?
As you should
I
be.
feel
As you
like,
should be, but
when you look in the mirror, your body doesn't define who you are. Let me just say that. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's that confidence you have within. Like I know I got stretch marks. I got stretch marks, I got little fat hanging here, whatever, whatever. But baby, let me tell you something. If we got this far, where you going? For me, where you going?
But sometimes, Erica, though, I don't think that it's necessarily about like, body image all the time. Sometimes the romance or the sex part in your relationship, it just might not be where you're comfortable at. Like for me, I'm not comfortable with necessarily initiating. I mean, I want it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm comfortable initiating it. And
That's
Well, that is
I
true.
true.
think that after I had the baby, I'm not gonna lie, my libido went all the way down, all the way. So I mean, so to build that back up, it took time. But at the end of the day, from the very first time that I ever engaged in sexual activity, I've never been the one necessarily in charge. So to be comfortable and confident in that area, it takes time and getting used to. Because
Yeah.
like again, I guess in my mind, I'm still always expecting my partner to be the one to initiate. And I'm not saying that that is the right thing, but that's just what I'm used to. So to be confident enough to say, hey, this is what I want, I'm about to get it, that takes work for
Well, let me
me.
say this too also,
Hmm.
and with that, again, me and Mark has been together ages. I'm just gonna say that. So I've been where you ladies are. Like I've been where you guys are, like not taking charge, waiting. But after so long, when you learn your mate, you know what your mate wants. I feel like things take time, and it is that's the time where you have to build that control. That's not something that you're gonna learn overnight. Because I could tell people like Tierney, I could tell you everything that I do, but don't mean that you're gonna go out there and use what I tell you. You get what I'm saying? Because what I do,
Mm.
That's
you guys may not be on that same level to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going by what I do from my experience with keeping my romance and keeping the spice. And I've always told Marcus, we try a lot of different things, and you you always want to bring something new to your relationship. Whether you think your partner is gonna be I mean, I feel like this. How do you really know what your partner is gonna be comfortable with if you don't try it?
That's a good question. And maybe our bum ass mom squad peeps could answer that. Like, make sure y'all go to our page and DM us on like questions like that. Like, how do you spice up your sex life?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's good. I want to
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, hold on. Before we close out, because
Not,
we're getting to a close here shortly, I did have a question and I want to piggyback off of Ashley
oh
because I
Lord.
think this is so important. It takes a while, and I can say, listen, my longest relationship has probably been like 2 years. I also had an on and off thing for a few years, but I was never, ever, ever comfortable initiating. It could be with the person that I am most comfortable with, and I
Mm-hmm.
still could not initiate. And I told my boyfriend, which is the father of my children, I told him, it's hard for me to initiate. I'm comfortable with him. Listen, let me tell you something. He know me in and out. When I say in and out, in and out. Okay, he's seen everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you talk about, oh, you just had a baby, your boo has to come and give you a shower, baby, he's seen everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, even with him, it's hard for me to initiate. And it's like a thing in my head, like, okay, let me get myself ready. Like, let me put it in my brain, like, I want it so bad. Let me just go jump on him. That does not happen. Like, I can muster up all the courage in the world, and it's still very, very hard for me because it's like it's not even about like, oh, he's gonna judge me, because 9 times out of 10, well, 10 times out of 10, he's gonna love it because that's what he wants. It makes him feel desired,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Okay, so
but
what?
it's
Okay, so I have a
very
question.
hard.
Okay, so we know that it's hard. So what are you doing to not make it hard or try to become
Right.
better? Right? We know this is an area that we're weak at, right? And you're with your boyfriend, you're with your current, partner, and he knows you in and out, as you say. So what are you doing to become better in that
Mm-hmm.
area?
Well, we did have a conversation about it. I told him that, I'm not really comfortable initiating. In the past, I never have. We had this conversation, and he said, yeah, I understand, and we'll get there. You'll get there. So one time, y'all, I would not lie, I sent him a text message because, text messages are safe, I think.
I do it all
Look,
the time.
he's a let me tell you something. He in the next room. It's not like I can't walk out there and just have fun with him.
Right.
I could do
Yeah,
that.
you can.
But I was just like, I'm going to be safe. I just sent him a nice little nasty message.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like, hey, sorry to be a little explicit. I was like, hey, I want to do something nasty to you, and we went from there. Was it what I expected? Did I get the expected outcome? Hmm. I don't know. We
So
needed
wait,
some
Oh, no,
okay, so
what was
you
the
saying your
expected
initial, how
outcome?
you
But can I
initial?
ask you that? I mean, like, I maybe going too deep, but when you say the outcome,
No, it's not.
okay, so
My expected outcome was drop everything and let's go, let's get it, cuz the
okay,
baby sleep.
okay, okay.
But
But what
that
happened?
wasn't the
What was
outcome.
reality?
The fucking reality was, excuse my language, I think I probably waited about 35, 45 minutes. By the time he came in there, I was like, what the hell? And I will not lie, I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. He don't even know this. Hey baby, I had to grab a bob and do a little something something before he even came in there. That's how long he waited. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Not the
Excuse
Bob,
me.
not the Bob.
Yes, I did.
Wait.
Yes, I
Listen, no.
did.
Some people use it. Hey, you a little bit more experienced than me when it comes to that, because I'm still learning that
Girl,
too.
please, I got plenty of them. Whatever pod you,
I
But
ain't
wait,
saying
whatever
I ain't
pod
got
you
none.
wanna,
I'm saying using it.
whatever pod you wanna use on your body for pleasure. I got.
Well,
I'm
but
just saying I'm still learning
so,
because I'm not confident
but
in
y'all,
that
let me
area.
tell you what happened.
Mhm.
Let me tell you what
Okay, come on.
happened. He came in there, he did a few pumps, and guess what? The baby fucking woke up.
Oh.
So then
Not
that
the
was
baby woke
just
up.
it. Yes, the baby woke up. The baby woke up, looked at me, looked at him, and came and like laid on my chest. Like, what are you doing to my
So
mommy?
maybe Tyranny.
So
Oh my
So
God.
maybe Tyranny. Maybe when you sent that message because the baby was asleep, maybe you probably should have got up and went on down there. You have to do like I feel like you have to do the unexpected. You know what I'm saying? Like you always have to wait for him to come in the room.
But that takes time.
Yes, it takes time, but she had listen. It takes time, but she had already sent that message. So when he wasn't coming, she's supposed to
Yeah.
have went to that. You don't. You.
well, I didn't know what he needed to do. I didn't know if he needed to go freshen up or
Did he
whatever.
take a
I
shower?
didn't
But
want to
if he know you in
disturb
and out,
him.
it don't matter.
I think he did go take a shower, but what he could have been like, hey boo, come and get in the shower with me. You
Wait, so
know,
I have to say,
sometimes
like
I
you,
need a little bit too. You gotta tell
oh,
me something. Throw me a
Okay, throw you
bone.
a bone for a bone.
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Oh
Well, I think that
yes.
I think that maybe you start, even though you're not comfortable with it at this moment, maybe you start to initiate that spice, and then maybe he like, okay,
Mhm.
she did it this time, then I'm gonna throw her a bone next time. I
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning. So
I
who am
mean,
I? I'm still
I always
learning.
say that. Again, I don't know, like what y'all, whole routines or whatever the case may be. But if you both struggle in ways to like come together as far as that, then I always say, always try something different because a person is not going if you do the unexpected, then if you keep doing it after a few times, then of course your partner is gonna follow lead because they're gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, but we don't have to talk about that now. But I definitely want to talk about if y'all do makeup sex when y'all
Look,
with
Ashley,
each
but
other.
look, yeah, we can talk about that, but I think I'm
Listen, we
past
have an
it.
episode. Yeah, we have an
No, I'm just saying
episode.
we can talk about it. No, I'm just saying because I gotta talk about, like, I want to talk about it because I was with somebody that said they don't believe in makeup sex. So
I
yeah,
mean, I don't know what makeup. I guess after so long, I don't even know what makeup sex is. I ain't gonna say I don't believe in it, but I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, we
I'm
definitely can
okay.
talk
You
about
might not.
it.
Okay, you said after so long you don't know what makeup sex is, but I'm pretty sure you've
we
indulged
we
in makeup sex
indulged in it.
before. So I want to.
Yes, that's what I was saying. We indulged in it before, but now, like, is that a thing for me now? No, I'm just gonna say that. But I mean, we can
Well,
definitely
but
talk about
okay. So even if it's not a thing for you now, it was
it before.
before. So I want to talk about what was it better, was it not better, were you still mad, like stuff like that. But we can talk about that next time. I just want to know. I mean,
Well, we
hey,
do
it's
have an
legit for people out there. Yeah,
episode. We
we'll
do
talk
have
about
an
that on another
episode.
episode. But for people out there,
Yes.
I'm sure inquiring minds want to know too, or shoot, they have some input. I'm just saying,
Okay,
hey.
well, it's getting to the close of our show. And while we've had a wonderful, wonderful conversation,
Absolutely.
we'll pick this up next week when we talk about something a little similar. We have a second part to this, and it's just what has changed in your relationship since you've had children. So we can piggyback up on the sex part next time
Yeah.
as well. But we'll go through all of that because obviously, I'll just tell y'all this: the sex has changed. Listen, I used
Save it,
to.
Charity. Let's save it. You said next time. So with that being said,
Until next time.
Bum Ass Mom Squad, make sure you go check us out on IG. Check us out on Facebook at Bum Ass Moms Podcast. Make sure you hit us up with questions that you may have. And if y'all are enjoying it, let us know that too.
Like and
Until next
And you can
time.
subscribe.
also email us at bombassmomspodcast@gmail.com.
Alrighty. See